Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I am going to solve the UGC NET JRF and SET examination paper of Geography. This is paper 2 of December 2019. The first question that we are going to solve is that the coastal and estuary waters are sometimes affected by algae formation and scum, often called as. Options are red tides, red clay, red soil and red waves. So the correct answer is A, red tides. So red tides are basically a kind of algae formation or an algae bloom. They are the plants which grows uncontrollably on the coastal areas and the waters. And it has been found consistently after 1800s in the Gulf of Mexico. Recently, red tides have been found on the coastal waters of Florida. If you swim in these waters, then it can cause a lot of skin rashes, irritation, burning of the eyes, etc. The next question is which of the following is not an advantage for raster data format? And the options are simple data structures, easy and efficient overlaying, compatible with remotely sensed imagery, and the fourth is application for network analysis. So the answer is D, application for network analysis. So application of raster data format is not for network analysis. Why? Because the rasters are basically a form of digital and aerial photographs and imagery from satellites. They are used for remote sensing. They are basically in pixel forms and they are used to store data in files. So the other options, which are simple data structure, is correct because it is a kind of a data structure which is in square pixel forms. It is also used for easy and efficient overlaying and understanding, as well as it is used for remote sensing, but not network analysis. The next question is how is stratified sampling carried out? Options are dividing the population into homogeneous groups and selecting equally but randomly. Second is assign numbers to the population by selecting the numbers. Third is divide the population itself into randomly selected from the population. So the correct option is A, which is divide the population into homogeneous groups and select equally but randomly. So in stratified sampling, it is a method of sampling in which the entire population, which consists of heterogeneous structures, are divided into homogeneous groups, or equally they are divided into subgroups or subpopulations, and then they are randomly selected. So the fourth question is which of the following statements are correct regarding the definition of census towns formulated by the Census of India? The first option is 75% of total working population should be engaged in agricultural activities. B is minimum population size should be 5,000 persons. C 75% of the total males of main working population should be engaged in non-agricultural activities. So in this question, both second and third options are correct. That is, minimum population size should be 5,000 persons and 75% of the total males of main working population should be engaged in non-agricultural activities. So in India, according to the census towns are the ones which are not statutorily notified and administered as a town, but whose population has exceedingly become more than 5,000 persons. A statutory town is a town which has got a municipality, corporation, cantonment area or board, and notified town area committee. But a census town does not have all these facilities, yet the population is very high and it also has met with urban criteria like Indiranagar in Tripura, Greater Noida in Uttar Pradesh, Nandigram, and Chandpura. Okay, now let's talk about the next question. Question number 5 is which of the following description of AW in Köppen's world classification is correct? A is marine west coast climate, B tropical wet climate, C tropical monsoon climate, and D tropical savanna climate. And the correct option is D, which is tropical savanna climate. Tropical savanna climate is the correct description of AW in Köppen's classification scheme of world climate. Köppen has given a world climatic classification based upon the different kinds of vegetation which is found in different parts of the world. So the entire world map is divided into biomes. He had given this classification in the year 1900, which was revised in 1918. Here, Köppen has divided the world climate into five main climatic groups: A, which is tropical group; B, arid group; C, temperate group; D, continental group; and E, polar group. So A is divided further into AF, AM, and AW. AF is the tropical region which has got no dry season or which are wet tropical regions. AM are the short dry season or the dry tropical regions, and AW are the winter dry season which are the savanna regions. The next question is question number 6. Who is the founder of the humanistic school of geography? The options are Wolpert, Twin, Kirk, and Harvey. And the right answer is B, Twin. Yi-Fu Tuen was a Chinese-born American geographer, and he is also the founder of humanistic geography. He is also called as the father of humanistic geography, which was quite prevalent in the 1970s. In humanistic school of geography, we should consider and study individual as well as group experiences in order to understand man and environmental relationship. So everything should not be theoretical, but practical aspects should be studied. The next question or seventh question is that you have to arrange the groups in correct chronological order of their occurrences. These are the conferences which were being held. And the correct answer is C, Agenda 21, Kyoto Protocol, 10th Conference of Parties, and the last is Paris Agreement. Agenda 21. This was a plan of action which was to be taken globally by the UN organizations and the governments of different countries and of major groups to work upon human areas and all those human activities or areas which can impact the environment. The Agenda 21 was accepted on 23rd of April 1992 in the Rio Summit. The next in line was the Kyoto Protocol Convention on Climatic Change, which was basically to commit all the industrialized countries and the major economies of the world to limit and reduce the greenhouse gases which they emit. The Kyoto Protocol was adopted on December 1997. This was after Agenda 21. According to the Kyoto Protocol, 7 greenhouse gases were identified. These gases are carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, hydrofluorocarbons, perfluorocarbon, sulfur, hexafluoride, and nitrogen trifluoride. The 10th Conference of Parties of UNFCCC was adopted on 6th to 17th of December 2004. It also emphasizes on climatic changes, its mitigation and adaptation. Currently, there are 199 parties or countries which are involved, 198 states are there, and one regional economic integration organization is a member. The ninth question is, during the winter season, the northwestern part of India gets rainfall from. Options are A, thunderstorms; B, retreating monsoons; C, western disturbances; and D, tropical cyclones. And the answer is western disturbances. Western disturbances are the cause for the winter rain and the pre-monsoonal rainfall in the northern part of India and the western part of India. They are the low pressure system which is created at the Mediterranean Sea. Due to this low pressure, the air rises, which is saturated with water or with moisture, and this air flows towards India with the influence of the westerly jet streams. When these winds meet the prevailing winds of India, they bring winter rainfall in the northern and the western part of India. The ninth question is, the doctrine of uniformitarianism was postulated by. The options are A. Cotton, B. Dutton, C. Hutton, and D. Dalton? And the answer is C. James Hutton. So Hutton, along with Charles Lyell, had postulated the concept of uniformitarianism. And this idea is that the earth has always been changing in a uniform way, and the present is the key to the past. The 10th question is that in the process of erosion, the removal of materials by solution is called A. Corrosion, B. Attrition, C. Corrosion, and D. Seeping. And the answer is corrosion. So corrosion is a form of chemical erosion, and the others are basically physical erosion. In corrosion, it is a process by which metal surface is attacked or is reacted by certain substances such as air and water, which leads to its chemical changes. Example is like rusting of iron by exposure to air and moisture, when it forms a reddish brownish layer of triferric tetraoxide. The 11th question is, who says geography is the art of map making? Well, the answer is Ptolemy. Claudius Ptolemy. He was a mathematician, an astrologer, astronomer, a geographer, as well as a music enthusiast. And he had said that geography is a science with the art of map making. He had revolutionized the concept of map making. The art and science of map making is called as cartography. Question number 12 is, who used the term choreography to describe geography? Options are B. Berenice, and second option is A. von Humboldt, E. Kant, or Ritter. And the right answer is Immanuel Kant. Kant used the term choreography to describe geography. Choreography is actually the art of describing or mapping a particular region or a district. It is a descriptive map. The 13th question is, Ria Coast is an example of A. Neutral shoreline, B. Compound shoreline, C. Submerged upland shoreline, and D. Immersed shoreline. And this is a very frequently asked question. And the right answer is Ria Coast. Ria Coast are basically the valleys and the coastal areas when they're exposed to rivers, and then they get eroded by the rivers, and then they get submerged. So the coastal shoreline which are exposed to waves and are eroded are called as Ria Coast. There is a difference between Ria Coast and Fjord Coast. Fjord coast are caused by glaciers. When the glaciers they erode away the shoreline, then the fjord coasts are caused. They are also submerged but by glaciers, whereas Ria coast are submerged by rivers. Such an example is Portsmouth Harbour in England. The 14th question is, who coined the term geopolitic? The options are Horschafer, B. Chellan, C. Hess, and D. Spikeman. Basically, what is geopolitics? Geopolitics is a study of all the effects on the Earth's geography which has been caused by political affairs or by politics as well as by international relations. It basically means how international or global businesses as well as different countries and terror groups etc. as well as international relations have a vast control over the geographic features of the world. Rudolf Jelen was a Swedish political scientist who had coined the term geopolitics. Next question is, who is the father of possibilism? The options are G. Carter, B. is Pepper, C. Bunge, and D. E.C. Semple. The right answer is the father of possibilism is Lucian Pepper. So possibilism is a theory which is totally against environmental determinism. According to environmental determinism, which was advocated by Ratzel, it is said that
the environment or the physical geographical features have a great impact and a strong influence on human lives and human culture. That means human culture and human lives are totally dependent upon the physical environment and geography of a region. Whereas possibilism is a total contrast to environmental determinism. It means that human culture and human activities have a great impact on the physical and geographical conditions of a region. According to possibilism, human beings play a very important role. For example, human beings, through their strong determination and action, can build roads as well as bridges in very isolated mountains as well as in arid regions. So, a French historian named Lucien Pepper was the advocate of possibilism. Another concept called neo-determinism, which is also called as stop and go determinism, according to which the environment has given us all kinds of resources and possibilities to develop and to use, but human beings, through their activities like pollution, is causing long-term damage to the environment in itself, and it depends upon the human beings only how they can improve the environment. So, an Australian geographer called Griffith Taylor had advocated this concept of neo determinism. The 16th question is: as a reaction to a regional development policy of the government in India, several social governments emerged in different parts of the country. So, the Chipko movement, one of such movements, originated in areas covered under the options are Desert Development Program, B. Coastal Area Development Program, C. Tribal Area Development Program, and D. Hill Area Development Program.
And the right answer is D, Hill Area Development Program. So Chipko movement was started by Sundar Lal Bahuguna in the Garhwal forest against the felling of trees basically for commercial purposes, which was under the government policy. And it was a non-violent movement where all the villagers participated, especially the women who hugged the trees in order to stop them from being felled. The 17th question is: the hydraulic slope theory was given by A. C. Darwin, B. A. Gordy, C. R. E. Horton, and D option is C. A. Cotton. And the right option is R. E. Horton. So, the hydraulic slope theory was first introduced by Robert E. Horton in the year 1945. Throughout his career, he actually worked to study rainfall and surface runoff. There are three implementations of the hydraulic slope theory. The first one is that the slopes are basically elements of the Earth's terrestrial and submarine surface. That means slopes are both found on the surface of the Earth as well as under the ocean. So slopes are irregular formation. They do not have any specific dimension. They can be a plane area, they can be a cylindrical slope, it can be a conical slope, it can be a spherical slope. So basically slopes do not have any particular shape. And the third point is that slopes can be produced both by exogenic forces. Exogenic forces are the external forces like denudation, erosion, weathering, as well as they can be produced by endogenous processes or internal processes like volcanism, orogeny, apirogeny, which is a process of mountain formation and plate tectonic movement. Now, the 18th question is: Rally for Valley program in India was organized to highlight the problem of A option is environmental degradation, B is biodiversity, C is resettlement of displaced persons, and D is loss of agricultural land. The right answer is C, for the resettlement of displaced persons. The Rally for Valley is basically a social movement which was initiated and started by the tribals of India, who are the Adivasis, along with some human activists and environmentalists. This was basically and most importantly against the construction of a large number of dams and projects across the Narmada River. This is also called as the Narmada Bachao Andolan. The next question is, which one of the following states recorded highest percentage share of India's total population as per 2011 census? The options are A. West Bengal, B. Bihar, C. Uttar Pradesh, and D. Maharashtra. And the correct answer is C. Uttar Pradesh. So, according to the 2011 census, Uttar Pradesh was the most populous state of India. Its population is more than Brazil. Highest age group percentage of India according to census 2011 was between 15 to 19. Currently, India has the largest population in the world. It has overtaken or surpassed China in 2023. The current population according to 2021 is 140.76 crores. And the current population density is 464 persons per kilometer square.
The question number 20 is, during which 5-year plans the Government of India adopted regional to agricultural planning? The options are 5th 5-year plan, B 6th 5-year plan, C 8th 5-year plan, and D 10th 5-year plan. And the correct option is C 8th 5-year plan. So the 5-year plans were being monitored and executed and prepared by the Planning Commission of India and the Niti Aayog. In the first 5-year plan, which was from between 1951 to 56, the main focus was the development of private sector. In the second 5-year plan, which was from 1956 to 61, the focus was on public sectors. In the third 5-year plan, from 1961 to 66, the stress was on agricultural improvement of land, also on the production of wheat. Then, between a period of 1966 to 69, it was of plan holidays. Now, there was a failure of the third 5-year plan, so the government was forced to declare this as the plan holiday. In the fifth plan of 1974 to 78, the main focus was on improving employment and removal of poverty. Garibi Hatao Andolan was started here. Then there was a period between 1978 to 1980 which was called as a rolling plan period, where the Janata Party rejected the fifth 5-year plan and introduced the new sixth 5-year plan beforehand. In the sixth 5-year plan between 1980 to 85, there was the focus on economic liberalization and the price controls. In the seventh 5-year plan between 1985 to 1990, the main emphasis was on improvement and productivity of industries. Then there was a period between 1990 to 92 when there was an annual plan which was prepared because of the fast growing and changing economic conditions and situations in India. Now came the eighth plan of 1992 to 97. This was a period of economic instability and a lot of crisis, especially in foreign exchange. So the main focus was on modernization of the industries and of economic growth. Here, India became a member of the World Trade Organization in 1995. Then, in the ninth plan of 1997 to 2002, which was conducted by Atal Bihari Vajpayee, the main focus was on unexplored economic potential of the country and to promote economic and social growth of the country. Then, on the 10th 5-year plan between 2002 to 2007, there were 20 pointers which were allotted based upon more production of economic development and on removal of poverty, on removal of literacy gaps, on removal of regional inequalities, on providing more employment opportunities. Then there was a 12th 5-year plan between 2012 to 2017. The main emphasis was on providing a lot of new jobs, 50 million new jobs. Then on providing higher education, on providing more drinking water towards the rural population, and also to provide electricity in the rural regions of India. also to reduce gender inequality, and also green coverage, and improving green coverage to 1 million hectares. After the 12th 5 year plan, the Planning Commission was dissolved, so there were no more 5 year plans which was being prepared. But still, we have 5 year plans for defense purposes.